This is probably making the most boring video on the planet. Watching some idiot prod around with a multimeter. Welcome back to another amazing episode of Some Nutter in a Shed. I've been out shopping again. Bought some more rubbish. Well, some might call it rubbish. I call it useful junk. So what we got here, we've got a Radio Rentals Model 60, as it says on the dial. Got this from the Woodall Spa 1940s weekend. It had a price tag of £48 on it. I did not pay that. I paid, what did I pay? 43 in the end. I tried to get it for 40, but he wouldn't let me have it. But never mind. So yeah, here it is. I've not looked inside it yet. I'm being stupid and I've got it on the old dim bulb thing. It's a 40 watt bulb in there and it is currently just glowing. Well, it's been on there for some time and nothing's really happened, so I'm going to do something else. Do a bit of cleaning, see what happens on the top of the cabinet, because it's pretty ropey. Surprisingly, I've found a little tripod to put the camera on. So yeah, first things first, Bakelite polish, and secondly, bog roll. We'll just try a little patch on the top, see what it does. And yes, the radio is still powered up at the moment, it's still doing nothing. I'm going to do all the cabinet. Look at my finger. Yuck. Nasty brown stain. Ugh. Yum. Right. And we get a clean piece. Well, it might come up alright. There's a few water stains on it. I guess it's been out in the rain a bit. Which wouldn't be surprising because it did absolutely chuck it down yesterday. But it's a new day. And as you can see, I've shoved this thing in a bin bag. I did peer into the back of it. It was absolutely full of bug webs and rust and God knows what else. So now I'm going to unpack it and take it outside and see if I can brush a bit of it out. Just crawled out of it. Nope, no lively things in there. There should be a screw there. It's pretty ropey on the back, isn't it? And you can see there is one there still, just there. So I'll whip that out. Find the most ill-fitting screwdriver I could find. Got like a little bit of felt on it as well. Ugh. Dust come off it then. I'll put that to one side. Sorry about the wind noise. New spider nests. Put that in there. Have a look underneath. There's some of the crap that came out of it. Yeah. I'm pleased I did that outside. I've seen so much crap come out one radio. Right, now we can get a better look at it. So, take the valves out. I've left one still plugged in because I couldn't get it out. What have we got? We got an EL33. That would be the output valve. That would be rather nice if it works. And I've got some gloves now as well because this thing's disgusting. ECH35. What's this one? This is the rectifier, AZ31. I just didn't tell you what that other red one was because I don't really know what it is until I bothered to research it. EF39. Been an IF amplifier, maybe the other was a mixer or something. And the one that's left in there is, what's it, EBC33. And I'm not sure where that's come from. So the rust on the chassis isn't as bad as I thought it was. The transformer shroud, that's pretty ropey. I could probably attack that with a bit of sandpaper or something. Back needs a damn good clean. The speaker looks like a speaker. It feels seized solid, that does. That is not going anywhere. Luckily it's one of those with a lot of screws in it so you can take it apart. Dial bulb's still in there. That didn't light up when I powered it up yesterday. I wonder if it's dead. Yeah, that'll do. I'm probably just measuring the transformer there, aren't I? There we go. 6.5 volts, 0.5 amps. Meter says dead. Meter says very dead. That's why it didn't light up yesterday. Because it's dead. Yes, I can see there's a gaping hole in the middle of the filament, so that needs replacing. Hopefully I've got some somewhere. Right, what I've done now is I've attached a couple of croc clips to the speaker directly just here. And now we shall plug it into the meter and see if we can get any reading. We do. We are getting 3 ohms, which is probably the output transformer. Right, what we'll do now, get an old AA battery, see if we get any sound. Probably very hard to hear, but there is a little crackle going on. So that says to me that the voice coil in the speaker is still okay. So it does stand a chance of working again once I've freed it up, because that is absolutely rock solid. There must be a lot of rust in there. So I'm going to have to be very careful without taking that apart. I think that should be probably one of the first jobs I do. Get the speaker good. And I might check the transformers in a minute as well. In fact, yes, we'll check the transformers next. Just notice this interesting feature. This is the mains input. And you see just about here the voltages. I think to change over the voltage, you can see here there's another pin there. So I think to change that you had to, oh yeah, there you go. Flick that around there like that, which then blocks up that other hole, reveals the other pin and the different voltages, which you can't read because it hasn't all gone all the way around. There we go. What have we got on there? We've got 195 to 225. Nice. Better not leave it there, otherwise I'll plug it back in at 240. Done a bit more work on the radio. Give the valves a bit of a wipe, just so I don't get covered in crap every time I look at them. Yeah, looks nice. Just remember, don't rub the label because it comes off. Whatever that one was, it was an AZ31, it's now just a 31, so yeah. But managed to get them on the power supply, so I've seen that the heaters do still work, and well, there's obviously vacuum in there, which is another good point. You can look out for that. See if the getter's still black. If it's gone white and crusty, a bit like that, then it's full of air and it's useless. Yeah, that was a newly purchased valve, and I broke it immediately. Genius. So yeah, what we're going to do with this thing, it's minging. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I'm sure I'll work something out. I'm not sure what it's made of. I think it's Paxlin. It feels like it. Attack it with that instead. Tasty. I think it's just really dirty, because once you do that, it actually seems to cut through a load of the rubbish that's on there. Have a look at this. You can just about make it out if I get the right angle on it. You can see there's like streaks of dirt, and then there's some actual decent coloured material underneath there. Right, done a bit more around there. So I thought, well, I've been and got some more bog roll. Let's do the whole thing. Well, that's improved that appearance somewhat. You can actually read the thing properly now. The only thing I have found with it is the rivets. I think they're probably all past their best. I'm going to have to get some replacements. That one fell apart, as you probably saw. They're missing from there anyway, and the ones from the speaker sockets, which are rattling loose in there. Never mind, it's all replaceable. See what I can find on Tinterweb. Right, after all that mucking about yesterday with polishing this thing up, I think it's time we've got it the right way up again, well, preferably a different way up, and see just what we can get it to do, if anything. Get and have a good look around this chassis, see what's going on. That's all your front end, and the volume pot and the switch. A lot of nice hunt capacitors in there. It looks a lot better underneath than it does on top. And blue ones I think have been tacked across the cardboard ones, which are probably all dead by now. I can easily put new components inside the old ones if I really wanted to. It's not the worst radio in the world I've seen. The Echo A22 was the worst one. That was disgusting. I've been in a swamp. This is just surface rust. Get some service all in there. Sounds lovely. That's all good. Well, so it's good. It might not actually work, but it's a start. Let's find the output transformer, which I think is this one. See if I can get some readings on it. 536 ohms, so that could be the primary. Check it to see if it's connected to any of the others. That just disappeared off into mega ohms, so that's okay. Same there, so I think that that's primary winding, and this must be, yeah, 0.5, so that's the secondary. So output transformer's looking good. We know the speaker's got continuity, even though it's seized solid. I can always plug in an external one. So now we'll get onto the mains transformer. What have we got? Because have a look here, we have a circuit. Sorry about the wonky camera angle on it, but we can see there's the mains transformer. We've just checked this. That's the output transformer. So what we're going to look for here, we already know that the main winding's got continuity. I've already had power through that. And one of the valves did start lighting up. I think it was probably this one or this one. There was a faint glow in it. So at least one of the windings, this one, L16, is that the one that goes to the valves? Good question. Well, that must be okay. So we need to see if L18 is any good, because that feeds the rectifier's heater. It's a directly heated one, so you don't want that running off the same as that. What else we got? We've got the main HT winding there, and we've got a winding all on its own for the pilot lamp, which is blown at the moment, so we'll probably just stick a meter on that, unless I can find a bulb somewhere. I'll put the meter where you can see it. What should we check first? So we're going for the mains transformer, wasn't we? So if we have a look down there, got some wires disappearing off to this valve base here, which could be the rectifier. It's got some cobwebs down the middle of it. Lovely. And then there's another wire there going to there as well. Don't think that's the heater. I think that's probably part of the HT winding. What are we getting there? 307 ohms. Well, at least it's got some sort of continuity. My meter's disappearing down a hole. There must be another bit that goes to earth somewhere, I think. Yeah. The centre of that winding goes to chassis, so where's that? Could be that one. There's a lot of wires going to that. Yeah, I'd say that's it. 1 ohm. So if we go between there and there, we should get about half the reading earlier. Oh, 149, and yeah, close enough. So yeah, that's the centre tap, and that is either end of the HT winding. There's one other tapping over there. What's that do? That's a good question. It also seems to be 150 ohms there. Yeah, okay. I might be wrong on some of these then. Where does that go? That's disappearing down a hole out here. Ah, panel lamp. Yes, that wire. That's going to the panel lamp, so that's the panel lamp winding. So that should some sort of 0.5 of an ohm. There's something shorted out. Right, what else have we got? Let's see if we can find. So we know L19 is good. L15 we've just found, that was the panel lamp one. L16 still AWOL. L17 That's the HT winding, it's all good. This is probably making the most boring video on the planet. Watching some idiot prod around with a multimeter. So that's one of the mains terminals. Okay, the other one. Aha! Okay, this is the primary side. I'm guessing the heater windings are some of these other wires that are just coming straight out of the transformer. Okay. Since we've established that, AC volts, let's turn it on. We're going through the bulb again, 40 watt bulb. It's not even slightly glowing. That should give us some protection if the transformer shorts out. I've just got to be really careful where I'm putting my fingers. It is going through an isolating transformer as well, so I shouldn't get a shock. But I might do if I do something really silly, like stick my fingers straight across the mains. Ooh. Ah, that's why I wasn't doing anything. It wasn't switched on. Idiot. Now the bulb is glowing very dimly. Ooh. It's buzzing. Right. Six volts there, so that's a heater winding, which also disappears off to some of the other valve holders, and that's rather handy. Panel lamp winding. Yeah, 4.9 volts. That's good enough for the panel lamp. See if we can see the rectifier's heater winding. It is humming quite a lot. Probe on there, what we got, 276 on that side and 276 there. That's good then. That's to feed both of the anodes. Yeah. So we have some life. Let's stick some valves in it and see what happens. I've stuck the EL33 in there. I think it's in the right socket. I can't remember. But yep, the heater is glowing. Let's have a look at that. Here you can just see it down between those IF cans. Just notice this valve is glowing as well. That's a good sign. This one's so dirty you'd probably never be able to see it even if it was. Now we can at least see what's inside it. ECH35. That came out of this hole. Ooh, that changed the hum a bit. That one's starting to glow as well. That's a good sign. We have the EF39. I'm not putting the rectifier in yet. That's just asking for trouble, that is. What I might do is connect up the bench power supply. Maybe I should be able to see in the top of that one now. These things are filthy. I cleaned the glass ones, but the metallized ones I didn't bother cleaning. That changed the hum as well. Yes, there we go, they're all glowing nicely. Stick the top caps back on. You shouldn't really plug valves in whilst the set's on, but because I'm an idiot I can do that. See a bit of a glow in there. And then that one. And then that one. Right, I'm connecting the bench power supplies. So we want negative on ground. Which side shall I go for? I'm going to go for... well, that side goes off to the valve, so I'm guessing this is the side we want. There we go, right. Warm up the valves again. I'm only putting 60 volts up it at the moment. Well, that went well. I didn't notice that the camera had actually stopped recording because the memory card was full. So I've just done a load of tests on this and completely not filmed it. Genius. So what I did, after I checked that the meter was okay, so I checked for voltage from one side of the output transformer to the other, all the way to the valve, and it was all good. And there were some voltages around the valve as well that I checked, which all seemed fairly sensible. I wasn't getting any sound or anything, so I went to get an extension speaker, which is down here, which also happens to be a Radio Rentals. So yeah, I plugged that in, and I could hear a faint humming coming from it. So I tried a few switches and things, nothing happened. I gave the valve a wiggle, and it crackled like mad. And it seemed as well, as you can see this, the base is loose, and giving it a little waggle like that would produce more loud crackling and popping and whatnot. So I think there's a loose connection between one of these pins and the thing itself, so I'm going to take the base off, see what's what, make sure the pins are soldered properly, and then glue it back together. Alright, I've desoldered all the pins, but the base isn't coming off. It must be stuck on the glass. So rather than risk completely ruining the valve, I'm just going to dribble some araldite in around the edge, tape it up, clamp it down, and flood the pins with solder. I hope that gets it. You can probably just about see the ends of the wires sticking through there as you do that. So if I flood those with solder, hopefully that'll do it. Right, that's that glued on. There's a bit mucky around the base. Get that bit of a pipe. I've got the glue to go in by sticking the valve base first into the hoover and switching it on. And because there was that little tiny hole just there, it sucked the glue through. So it's nice and solid, or it will be when it dries. At the moment it's not. But you can feel it's getting a good grip. I'm just going to stick some tape around it for now, just to keep it in position and to stop me getting covered in more glue. I was just looking at the prices for these valves. If I wanted to replace this, the cheapest I can get is a Mazda 6P25. That's what it says, 6P25. Yeah, which is basically the same as a EL33, and that's £16 plus £4 10p postage. So yeah, not a cheap valve if it breaks. There's also daft things like matched pairs for ridiculous sums of money. Let's see if we can get this solder to flow down these legs. It's got some nice thin stuff, so I can poke it down the hole. I really hope that there is actually a wire down there. Maybe I can just feel it. Right, got some crackles now. So I'm just going to give the old grid coupling cap the snip. See if that brings about any improvement. I'll just connect that there first. We're on 3.7 volts there at the minute. So I can reach it. There we go. Ooh, did you hear that? Get that out of the way. Ooh. Amplifier buzz. And we are now down to 0 volts on the grid. Right. Find a new capacitor. Back it in and see if we get the audio stages up and running. You might just be able to see the one that I've just bodged in there. It is just here. It connects just there, and the other end is just there. It's just loosely tacked in for now. If we look on the circuit diagram, those of you who know what you're looking at will know what you're looking at. Those of you who don't, this is what we're looking at. This is the grid coupling capacitor. It goes from the anode of the detector stages, the first amplifier, feeds in down here into the grid of the output valve. Now we're going to see what it does. Alright, warm the valves up. Now let's get high voltage on. That power supply's way too noisy. Well, so far so good. That's reading a healthy almost 0. See if we get any noise. There's a faint noise. Not as loud as I'd like it. See what the voltage is the other side. Yeah, 74 volts that side of the capacitor. Nothing that side, that's good. Nearly 100 volts there. So I'm not going to get much through there, I don't think. I'll shove some audio in the audio stage and see what it sounds like. I'm connected directly into the grid of the output valve at the minute. Okay, we've got some noise there. But yeah, if I disconnect that from there now and connect it to the gram socket, and the volume up. Silence. Okay, so where's... I must work out where that's coming from. Alright, I'm going to do something crazy now. I've put the rectifier back in. Got the multimeter at the ready. There we go. That lit up rather brightly. Ooh, voltage is going up. And coming straight back down, that's not a good sign. So we've established there's something wrong around the rectifier circuit. I've disconnected a few capacitors. You can see the wires dangling here, that's those cardboard ones. The third one was connected down there as well, so we'll see what happens now. That's gone a bit higher. And just dropping back down again. Back to the drawing board. Okay, I've put the AZ31 out of the radio rentals into this Echo A22. I think I can safely say it's probably knackered. This one gives it a little bit more heater volts. You can see it's glowing a little brighter. Whereas in the radio rentals it didn't really glow that much. But it sounds terrible. It's just really quiet and distorted. So yeah, I think that's had it. So we'll try the one out of the A22 in the radio rentals and try not to blow it up. Alright, here we go. The light bulb came up nice and bright again. The voltage is fluctuating a wee bit. That's probably because we're on AC. There we go. Ooh, 202 volts. Still silent though. More playtime, I think. But yeah, that rectifier is definitely toast, so we'll keep with the other one for now. Well, it's another day, and I found another valve, another EBC33 to try in place of the one that was in it, which is a bit, yeah, not well. It might be knackered, and we'll find out. I'll put this in and see if it makes any difference whatsoever. It's got cleaner pins. It was in my display cabinet, so it's probably in there for a good reason. It's probably knackered, but we'll try it, see what happens. I'll make it. It's just warming up at the minute. I forgot to set the old multimeter going again. 210 volts of HT and dropping. Output valve takes a long time to warm up. There it comes. Alright, so we've got that going. Let's disconnect that from there. Connect it into the gram socket where it's supposed to be. There is actually sound coming through this time. It's very quiet. Oh no, it's not. It's just the volume turned down. Okay, so we've got signals through the gram socket at last. Let's see if we can get anything RF wise. So if I put that out there, chuck them on the floor. We have a mini mod just here. If you don't know what a mini mod is, Google it. You'll probably find it on UK Vintage Radio Repair and Restoration Forum. That's a mouthful, isn't it? It's basically just an AM transmitter, a little one. Right, so that's on. Let me check that it's working with something else first. So for that we have this rather handy little echo. Yep, that's working. It's a bit distorted because it's too loud. Turn it down a bit and try again. Yep. So, if the front end's working in this, we should get something other than amplifier buzzing. Crackling when I do that now. Where are we on the dial? Good question. There's a little bit of a crackle when you shove things in the aerial socket. Now I did get a signal through it yesterday, but it was very, very quiet. Not getting much of anything through it today. Obviously there's a load of capacitors need changing yet, because wax paper things, yeah, they're not very good, especially in sets that have been damp. Okay. Switch over and see if we get anything on there. Ooh. There is a signal there. It's very, very quiet. I'll whack some volume up. So yeah, it's working, but it's really, really quiet. So I need to do some more checks around all these. But it's looking distinctly like it's going to be okay. And just in case you're interested, we're at 171 volts of HT. It's playing under its own steam at the minute. I'm not sure what I've done. I've just been to go and get a new battery for the camera and then come back and switched it on, and it's working on the correct waveband now as well. There we go. I've connected a proper aerial to it, see what it sounds like. Got the door open, all the lights off because they make a lot of noise. So here we go.
That. Just refuse it and say, you know what? In about 11 months' time,
Also,
signing that as well.
you know contracts don't really mean much if someone actually wants to buy.
Probably talk sport.
Where does that leave those teams that can't potentially draw from that pool of money that Premier League?
No idea what that is. Mostly noise down that end. Let's try a long wave. Something there at least. Some farting noises. That's the radio, not me.
Sign up to My City to Ring Rewards by the 31st of July.
If there's anybody still awake out there, I'll be surprised. I'm calling it quits on this video. I think now's a good time to do so. In the next video, hopefully going to do some proper repair and restoration work, starting with valves, and also the speaker needs some attention, so we'll get that done. And then got all that rust to deal with. That's going to be fun. And then of course the cabinet. So yeah, see you in the next video, which hopefully won't be as long and boring as this one. Not promising anything. Spot the green blob.